Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to World ATM Congress 21. My name is Thomas Frenzel, and together with one of our partners, I would like to give you today an introduction into our ATC remote tower program. Sorry, ATC tower program, not only remote tower, but also conventional. The motto for this year at Frequentis is Rethinking ATC Tower, and I would like to give you an introduction in that topic and what our aims for this year and for the next years in regard to ATC towers are. First of all, I would start with some details about Frequentis and the Frequentis group, because that's something which is new this year. Over the last 2 years, we have expanded our portfolio. We did some mergers and acquisitions. You might have heard that in the press. And you might know Frequentis as market leader of voice communication systems, ATM-grade networks, electronic flight strip system, electronic flight data, meteorological information systems. So we had quite a huge portfolio for the whole chain of air navigation services. Additionally, Frequentis Comsoft was acquired some years ago. So Frequentis Comsoft stands for AMHS systems, so we're market leader on AMHS systems. Meanwhile, we've developed a very powerful MSDF multi-sensor data fusion tracker, which is also capable for ground and air tracking. DFS Aerosense, a cooperation with DFS, provides us with the operational know-how, especially in remote tower systems, remote tower installation. This cooperation was done 2 years ago already. Last year, we were happy to welcome Atrix in the Frequentis family. So we now can provide you with the most advanced A-SMGCS routing and guidance system, level 3, level 4, together with a very powerful simulator. And earlier this year, Frequentis Autogon became part of our family with market-leading AMAN, DMAN, and advanced AMAN, DMAN integrated systems. So together, we form now, in the Frequentis group, we have now an end-to-end ATM offering, especially for airports and for towers. And this is a very important message, which is also new this year. We can provide you with the full chain of systems, of services, technology, and also operational support together with our partners and group families. So what are the challenges actually of many ANSPs today? So the customer challenges are various. We have a lot of very small towers, especially during COVID. They have huge problems, of course, having enough traffic, having enough controllers, problems to survive. The customers run a bunch of medium-sized and large ATC towers, and of course, very large hub-controlled hub towers with, again, different challenges. Some years ago, we would only talk about conventional towers, all the towers you see standing around on the airports, but nowadays, we also talk about virtual towers. We talk about remote tower technology. We talk about vision enhancement. So new challenges for our customers, but also for the industry. You see it here, this year, quite impressive. Also UTM becomes quite an interesting topic and a challenge for ANSPs, but also for airports, managing UTM, but also having the threats of intrusions into the airspace. So at Frequentis, we have tried to bundle those different challenges into solutions, of course, because we want to provide you with the best solutions for exactly handling those challenges. So just to name a few examples, in the area of small towers, we see it very cost sensitive. Typically, small airports rely on a few important flights, a few important commercial flights which guarantee their income. On the other hand, when we go more into the virtual world, we see many customers with the challenges of having enough air traffic controller. Focus is on labor, focus is on cost. So we would like to de-risk that challenges with standardized solutions with our technology. And on the other hand, you have the large towers, the large hubs. 2 years ago, we would have said, well, it's everything about efficiency, about capacity. Nowadays, it's a little bit, has it changed a bit, but for all of you who has flown into Madrid have seen that they have to reduce capacities, so we still have the problem of efficiency with that reduced capacity. So we have both challenges, efficiency and capacity, and we have the solutions to overcome that problems. So we try to create different solutions depending on those challenges. So starting from the compact digital tower systems to remote digital tower systems up to the advanced digital towers like the large hubs. According to those categories, we also defined different actually ways how to solve the problems of our customers. So first of all, scale to cost realizations. So it doesn't make sense to put always the same system into the different types of towers, different type of operations. So with our solutions, we are able to scale the systems according to your operational needs. Also, of course, question of cost of the system, of technical complexity. So one important thing, you will also see that in our booth, also with our partners DFS, is of course single multi-remote, one of the topics of the last years. And we were quite early with having the DFS installation running now since a few years very successfully. But we see more and more interest coming also from those large tower segment, having contingency solutions. So if you ask yourself, what happens if you have a bomb threat, if you have a technical problem on your tower, do you have a contingency? Can you move to a contingency room? Do you have an operational center where you can shift the operations from the concrete tower to a virtual tower situation? Most of the customers don't have that. So the vision enhancement, the contingency is also enabled with our technology. Hybrid operations. So the latest brochure also or document tower and remote tower document of council will focus also on hybrid operations. So having both the typical tower, conventional tower operations mixed with remote tower components. So in period of lower traffic, you can switch to remote tower operations, while when you have full traffic load, you have the conventional operations or a mixed modus. So it's a very interesting new concept coming up, which needs the right technology to cover that. Of course, electronic flight data, surveillance, safety net features, surface movement, routing and guidance together with Atrix. We have one of the most powerful systems now in our portfolio with the TowerPad, where we're happy to show it to you in our booth to handle routing and guidance, handle very dense traffic situations, which hopefully we will see in a few years coming back. And last but not least, combining aeronautical information management into a product. So we are also one of the market leaders in aeronautical information, handling of aeronautical information. And when we talk about automation, it's not only about traffic automation, but it's only about data involvement and automation of processes. So for example, if you have a digital NOTAM, a runway closure, you want to have this visualized in your system automatically. So we use the digital NOTAMs for automatically provide you with that function. So what do we need for coming up with all those solutions? Besides the different solutions you see here, you need all the individual products, of course. So I don't want to go in all the details, but we call it also capabilities. So we can, as a Frequentis group, provide you with all the capabilities, all the products you need to come up with those features, with those functions. So starting with navigational aid, status indication, meteorological information, of course the voice communication system, multilateration system, so everything which is needed to run these operations up to the tower pad, to the avatar simulator to prove it with in trial runs and so on. We provide you all those features. Together, we have the services, which means we do the design workshops with you. We have the consulting services, all the project management capabilities to run such complex projects, and you shouldn't underestimate that. So it's not about technology, it's also about making the success of the project up to the operational changes and the change management you have to ensure in your department, in your operational department. So one of the key things, and that was also where Frequentis was standing for and proud of, was integration. So integration means you move away from the typical stovepipe approach you still see on many international airports, of course also many small airports, but also in international airports, you see those stovepipes products. What does it mean? If you have individual products, that means that those products cannot interoperate with the others. They cannot talk to each other. Data cannot be shared. That means when we talk about automation, we must talk about integration. Otherwise, it will not be possible to share information, to share data. So we're moving away from those stovepipes on two levels. One level is the data integration. You will see it on my next slide. We have developed a data integration or integration platform called Mosaics, which is a very, very powerful microservices-based integration platform. On the other side, you need the HMI integration. So both is important, both is necessary to make the concept of the integrated controller work position true. So how do we do that? Our platform, it's called Mosaics, as an ATM-grade digital integration platform. So we have seen on the market with all the typical integration platforms which are there, they're not ATM grade. So we developed our own platform based on microservices where we can combine our own products, which is sometimes challenging enough, because we have so many, but we also integrate third-party products. So when we come to your tower, to your environment, we will do an analysis, and whatever you have there, meteorological information systems, USP, other MET services, airport operational databases, whatever is necessary to integrate can be integrated via our platform Mosaics. So it's ED 153 compliant, of course, and I will also have then Ronald later on from LVNL to give you an introduction how we did it together with LVNL in Amsterdam Schiphol. On the other hand, we need HMI integration. So what does HMI integration mean? I mean, you will see it on many booths also, but the basic here is that we are able to integrate functionality. Again, if you are not owning, or if you're not owning the data, you must own the data to be able to integrate it in your HMI. Otherwise, you would just put different screens together. So depending on the wishes of our customers, we have different possibilities for integration depth. So starting with the function integration, meaning you show different data or information on other screens, towards a full integration into, for example, the surveillance screen here. The Atrix Tower Pad is one of those platforms where we can integrate meteorological information, flight data, but also video camera and also the voice communication features. So just to give you an example how that could look like, so I put here one screen of a highly integrated user interface, the Atrix Tower Pad, together with our voice communication system. And one of our aims here is that we make it as easy as possible for the air traffic controller. So imagine you're a tower controller, you have two parallel runways, you're a tower controller, your main task is to clear the runway, clear the aircraft. So you get in contact, clear to land, vacate the runway, get in contact, clear to land, vacate the runway. So if you want to set up a call or receive a call, you could go to the voice communication, but you could also, for example, just click on the screen to accept the call. Someone is calling you, you just accept it from your main screen. It means you don't have to turn your head. you just accept it from your main working screen. The same is true for flight data, interacting with the flight data system, having all the meteorological information available you need, for example, the wind information, which might be crucial for landing clearance, but also video integration. So if you want to follow an aircraft with our technology, you just hook on the aircraft or select the label, and the camera would follow that aircraft automatically. So you could have a separated screen for that, but you could also integrate it directly in your main screen. But we are flexible enough if you say, okay, I don't need the surveillance screen as my main screen. I want, for example, the digital flight strips as my main screen. We just provide you with a different setup. Even in the same tower cab, we can configure it depending on the operational needs. So not necessarily just one screen setup, no, depending on the working position. So for example, if this is a clearance delivery position where you don't need surveillance, you have the flight data as your focus, but still all the other systems next to the main screen, and again, functionally linked to each other. So we talked about that, but we also can prove that we've done it. Together with our partner LVNL, we have started already 3 years ago with the modernization program, and I would like to ask Ronald, ATM manager of LVNL, to give you a few facts about what we've done there.
Right. So, good morning. My name is Ronald Dubbeldam, manager of ATM systems at LVNL. For only a couple of weeks, but I will manage. Thanks, Thomas, for having me on this stage to tell you a little bit about our Tower 2020 development in LVNL together with our partner Frequentis. Yeah, on the screen you see some characteristics of the Schiphol airport. I think many of you know it's a pretty complex airport, I guess, with 6 runways and quite a few movements every year. And yeah, so the thing that we were facing a couple of years ago was to, let's say, drastically modernize our tower, our main tower, but do it in small steps. So what you see on this slide, on the left part, you can see the challenges that we were facing. So first of all, as any ANSP in Europe, we have to comply to the PCP requirements. And one of the requirements is a digital flight strip system. Yeah. Second of all, the tower, Schiphol Tower, was built in 1991, and the tower system that we deployed in the tower was also from that time frame. And not only the let's say the application, the tower system, but also the consoles where the controllers were working, they were actually pretty outdated. So we had to think of a new concept. And not only, let's say, replace the consoles and to have a new system, but also to increase the number of consoles. We had to double it from 8 to 15 working positions. Now, so what you then see on the right part was a picture that we drew for ourselves, mapping all the functionalities that we, let's say, the functionalities that we had in the old system, but also the functionalities that we wanted in our new system. So let's say the dark red squares were actually functions that we wanted to be part of our new system. So these are new requirements. And we started to look for a supplier that could, let's say, fulfill us in these requirements that we have. You see the words no big bang. So what I already said is that we were not, as LVNL in general, we don't believe in a big bang approach. I think any of you in this audience being part of an ANSP knows that you should not make the steps too big at once. So we really wanted a phased approach. So all these functionalities that you see on the screen, we wanted to be step by step by step. And it doesn't matter really for us if it takes 2 years or 5 years or maybe even 10. Of course, we have a roadmap there, but we don't want this in a big bang. So we actually started with the digital flight strip system as the first main requirement with some additional functionality to be implemented. And some of the requirements that you see on the screen will be coming in the next few years. For instance, the departure manager is one of the projects that we are now working on with Frequentis. So I think this concludes my slides.
Great.
Yeah, back to you.
Thank you, Ronald. Yeah, thank you very much, Ronald. Since we only have 20 minutes, we would like have 2 hours, but unfortunately we have just 20 minutes. Thank you, Ronald. Yes, I think that's quite one of the important reasons why LVNL also have chosen Frequentis, that we offered with our platform Mosaics the possibility to do exactly that stepwise approach. Avoid the big bang, avoid the risks. We know how risky it is to change operations, change systems during live operations, more or less. So we didn't have a second tower where we can try it out. No, it was done during live operations. And this was a huge challenge, and I congratulate LVNL for having mastered that challenge. So just to summarize that, what we did there, we split the phase into different projects. First was EFS interfacing with the ICAS, our route system, using our Mosaics platform. The second project was then departure management. Again, it's an ATRIX product, which will be fully integrated into electronic flight strips with the pre-departure sequencing capabilities. The next project will be then A-SMGCS level 1 and 2. Again, with integrating all the features with departure management, airport safety nets, very important next step. And last but not least, hopefully, we will go into the routing services in a few years. So this was just one example of our projects. I think it's always important not to show you nice pictures, but also show you the evidence that we are able to do it and that we did it and that we have happy customers appreciating also our technology and also services like project management. You see here just an excerpt of some of the other references, both in the advanced digital tower, but also remote and vision augmentation, and of course also in compact towers where we have more than 100 sites equipped in more than 36 countries already. So with that slide, I would like to conclude my presentation. If you are interested, if you have more questions, please come to our booth, or I'm happy to answer your questions also right now. Thank you very much.